Yes. Technically speaking, I started this whole company on my own. But it was through my experiences that I've learned from other people that got me to this point. Yep. So yeah, you never truly do anything on your own because it's built you up in a way. Your experience have built you up to a point where you are able to do this now.
My goal with this podcast is to connect you with the very people that have positively impacted my life and will continue to allow you to create a holistic and limitless perspective on yours. This is D. Foss, and welcome to the LT360 Podcast. What's up, Limitless Theory Tribe? We are back with another LT360 Podcast, and today my guest is the one and only a fellow Cranston East Thunderbolt. Not only a fellow Cranston East Thunderbolt, but the class of 2013 president and the now founder and owner of More Creatives LLC, Mr. Melvin Morales. What's up, dude?
What's up, Dylan? How you doing?
Good, man. Can't complain. Just trying to stay inside and do whatever we can to spread the wealth and spread the knowledge.
Social distancing.
Yeah, social distancing. That is the if you can hashtag that right now, I think you'll get more views on any post on any social platform. So before, I guess that's a good place to start anyways, like social media, right? That's kind of what's taking form right now. That's how we're spreading all of our information. Give people a little insight onto, what your company is.
Yeah, so my company is More Creative LLC. It's a design firm focusing on graphic, digital, web, and print design. So we can basically create anything that you need for marketing material or just anything in general that your company is kind of working on. So that space, within the marketing space, we can, let's say you're trying to promote a product, we can help push that product forward. And then you can get all the design material for that marketing product.
So, if you guys didn't know, this logo right here and this logo right here, all work of Mr. Melvin. So, he is definitely nothing short of a genius when it comes to this stuff. So, well-deserved. And if you have any business things that you need, like he said, print, web design, logos, digitals, whatever it is, you offer free quotes, right?
Yes, free quotes. So they can always go on morecreativedesign.com or morecreativellc.com. And you can see all of our services on there. And then if you ever need anything, just email us. My phone number is even on there as well. And we can get something working.
Cool. Instagram, Facebook.
Yep, Instagram, Facebook, same thing. More Creative LLC. For all of them. Yep.
That's what's up. So once again, before we even get into anything, go check out what he has to offer while you continue to listen in, because this is going to be a good podcast. We got a lot to chat about. We've been anticipating this for probably like 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for a while now.
Yeah. Yep. But now that everyone's self-quarantining, we got plenty.
Everyone's inside now. You have to watch us.
Yeah. Now, I want to talk about how your mindset came to be, I want to be a business owner, because we grew up pretty much since, 6th grade. We were in school together.
Yep.
We've known each other for forever, 6th, 7th, 8th, all the way to 12th. And we stayed, kind of close throughout college, continue to like check in here and there, I would say. And, then we both got out of college and we both just seemed to have like this super crazy focused path of like, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be, and like get out of my way. So,
yeah, so
how'd you develop that?
Right. So, I guess it started from Cranston in general. The way we grew up, we weren't always, it wasn't bad, things were good in Cranston, but there was always a sense of like, we could always do better. We can keep pushing up, and that's how I was at Cranston East. I feel like, especially in high school, at least with our group of friends, not in a bad way, like we were always trying to up each other, but like, we were just trying to like be like, you know, as a friendly competition and keep pushing up. So I don't know, I carry that mindset with me, especially with, let me go back a little bit with the sports, especially at East. Like we always wanted to be like the best. And we knew as a public school, we were one of the best within that space.
Yeah.
So that mindset kind of carried with me throughout my time after high school as well. But I really learned really what I wanted to do when I went to school, and I majored in industrial design. And when I found that, I was like, wow, like that opened the doors for me for a lot of things, a lot of avenues. Initially, I wanted to do just graphic design, but with industrial design, I was really able to kind of go through multiple avenues. So that's the product design, graphic design itself, digital web design, print design. And what that allowed me to do is, because I'm a creative person, I love to make things and use my hands and be on the computer for so long. It allowed me to just, you know, make that or blossom that into multiple things. So then having that mindset with, you know, trying to get better, push forward while finding a creative niche that I just kind of combined those. And then last year, that's when I started More Creative LLC. So the word more is because I've always wanted to do more, and I've always known that I was capable of more, as well as my last name starts with Morales, so M-O-R. So I kind of use that as like a little gimmick and use more than creative aspect for More Creative LLC.
Super cool. It's awesome to see how things play out over time, and like to see like our friend group, like you said, like how we've all progressed is so cool, because I think a lot of us are in like a very good, healthy space, and we definitely could have fallen into any direction. I think we were at that perfect middle point, and I think we all just continued to make the right decisions, because we all definitely know some people that were in our friend groups and went in the opposite direction. So it's cool to see that we all kind of started to figure things out. And for you, I'm sure it takes a lot of discipline, right? And we know that, to run your own business and everything. And where do you think you kind of cultivated that discipline? Was it from track and field? Was it from JROTC that you used to be a part of? Was it from being class president? Was it everything? Like, how did all that
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just like you said, to be honest, so I've been, you know, blessed to do or to have done so much in general. I've done it all, every sport, every program, everything. So with ROTC and swim track, lacrosse, everything else, being class president, doing all that allowed me to get a glimpse at different perspective. It allowed me to get different experiences. And yes, exactly. And what it allowed me to do was kind of hone all of that together. So by the time that, I mean, even after college, because I was still learning, I feel like I'm always in the learning aspect, growth mindset. That has allowed me to put all that together. And only until last year, that's when I've always thought about starting a company, but only until last year, that's when I kind of, you know, sat down with myself and just thought, okay, like, I think I'm ready now to do it. I know sometimes you never know when you're ready. Sometimes you just have to do it. But because of all the things that I've done, and I was also at a point, because during that time I was in transition to moving to Florida as well. So I needed to find a job for myself and something to do on the side while I did have a job. So while I was able to, you know, be with myself and understand my skill sets, what I was able to do, I decided to just start the company. I was like, all right, this is the perfect timing for me. Let's just do it. Let's get it out there. But yeah, years of experience and just putting myself out there to get that experience is the biggest thing that allowed me to be organized, stay on top of things. I've learned different things from multiple people doing all these different things too. I've done internships with multiple jobs, multiple programs, multiple companies overall. And I've learned something from everyone that I've come in contact with. And that allowed me to kind of, you know, put all that together on my own person, but then use that to my advantage. And the biggest thing with owning a company is you need to have that mindset, because you wear multiple hats. I mean, you do everything from logistics to the final product to designing everything. And the biggest thing right now, I am doing everything on my own because I'm building it up. But with everything, you know, you need to start from the bottom and then build that up. And then as you get more clients, as we get busier, then that's when we start bringing people in.
Mm-hmm.
But so far it's been good, and I've just been networking and trying to push that forward. But yeah, it's a lot of experience, and you just put all that together, you learn from it, and then you just keep pushing forward and create something.
Yeah.
That comes. Yeah.
It's funny. I actually wore the perspective shirt. I just created this probably a couple weeks ago, and I just ordered it. So it had just come in a couple days ago, but I wanted to wear it for this podcast for many points, right? We come from Cranston. We came from the same middle school and high school. So we have a very similar perspective on demographic and diversity. And then also the understanding that we're both single business owners right now, right? We're owning our own business and we're running it by ourselves. We're wearing all those hats. So we have a lot of perspective from that sense. And then also the understanding that we're both living in Florida, right? Like there's so many different things that played out. So I always try to figure out like, what can I wear or like really get me in a mindset for the podcast? And to continue to keep that ball rolling, one thing you said was learning from so many different experiences, just putting yourself out there all the time and not being afraid to do something like move or start your own company. And me and you went back and forth talking a lot when we were both like in the transition of like, all right, yeah, let's officially become, you know, registered with Sunbiz and this, that, and the next. So you had helped me with a little bit with that. We had both, you know, conversed a lot about that. And you said every person that you've worked with or for is, you know, you're learning from, you're always learning. So that in and of itself is a perspective, but it allows you to gain even broader perspective. I always say every person I come in contact with is an opportunity to learn from or help, like in a sense of teaching. Like they know something I don't know and I know something they don't know. So we can always, you know, give and receive information. And it's crazy now that you're a year in to see where you've come is actually really cool. And your one of your more recent posts I was reading was that design isn't it's not like strategic, I think the word was. It's an art form. Exactly. And that right there is a perspective, right? You have to understand like, okay, how is someone else going to perceive this, and how can I take everything I've ever learned and put it into this?
Yeah.
And that's how I do my day-to-day. When I look at personal training, creating a workout for someone isn't like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, okay, let's figure out how to be creative. Let's understand what they need. And essentially it's an art form, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree 100%. To go back to the first point that you made, one of the biggest things is that people are your biggest assets in any company, anything you do in life. The people is what matters the most. So you have to understand the people themselves, the people around you, the people you work with, your customers. Like everything revolves around people. That's why businesses start. You're solving a problem for something to help people, to be better, to save more time, etc. So if you understand that people are your biggest assets and you find a problem that can help people, that's where something grows. That's where you can plant a seed, and then you can create a company potentially out of that.
That's a good way to look at it. I say plant a seed all the time.
Right. That's the biggest thing. It's just, I mean, the biggest thing nowadays is that a lot of people want to save time. That's one of our biggest, everyone wants more time. Mm-hmm. So if you find a way to make things a little bit faster, or for example, in my case, I create designs for people. So A, they don't have to, and B, it's more of a creative aspect where we can come together. They can create something that they in turn love and then push that towards their customers.
Yeah.
And that transitions to my second point, was that there's much more to design than people know. Design isn't just about making things look beautiful. Everything has a design though. Everything goes through a design process. Mm-hmm. The device you're watching this on right now, the actual hardware itself was designed by an industrial designer. I just focus more on the graphic design, digital print design, because for me, I don't like too much of the hardware, only because I believe in sustainability, and I believe hardware is a big contribution to the waste of just and destruction of our planet. So I stayed away from that. So I focused more on print, graphic, visual design, and stuff like that. But with design, you're able to, if you have a good design plan and strategies, what you can do is the design itself is very simple. Design is broken up. There's 7 or 8 multiple parts. It's just line, shapes, stuff like that. It's very simple, but then put together these elements, combine these beautiful designs overall, these creative products. And then what you're able to do with that product is what allows your business to grow. So for example, if you do need a logo, that allows you, for example, you, Dylan, with the logo that we created, allows you to then push out. So it's all centralized under one thing. So then when someone understands or sees your logo, they know who you are, what you're about, etc. Think about big companies, Windows, Apple. Like when you think about their products, you think quality, premium, especially with Apple, you think of their products. The way I like to think about it though is like, for example, with Apple, I love their products, yes, and their products are the UI and UX, so that's the interface of their design, very simple and easy to use. But yes, they are expensive products, but what it allows me to do is I use the products to create more products. So for me, it's a tool. It's not just a consumption device like the iPhone. For example, for the iPhone for me is more about a communication device. Yeah. And it also allows me to share my designs. So yes, it is if you have this device, you can get lost in it because it's a rectangle screen. There's a lot that can happen on there. But if you get lost in it, that's where bad things can happen. But if you use that as a tool to then make you more money, to then, push yourself forward, that's when things open up. Yeah. But the good thing about that, my point is that even though this was designed, it's a design product, but design is very simple. When it works, design is simple and it fades away. Because you don't even think about the design anymore. You just think about the product itself and how it works. So that's with anything. With a marketing campaign, for example, every company markets. Every company spreads news about one of their products, whatever it is. So when you think about that and repetition as well, when you decide to, I don't know, let's say get a hamburger from Burger King and you see all their ads, one of your first ideas or mindset is going to go to getting a burger from Burger King or McDonald's or, getting a new laptop from Apple or Windows, Mac.
You think of the product or the service. You don't think of the design, right? You're bypassing
design that. Then fades away. So the design is working so well that you don't even notice it. So that's why design gets a bad rep, or people think it's just pretty pictures and this and that.
It's basic.
But good design just completely fades away because then you use the product itself. For example, a book is designed. This is a design book. Someone designed it in a specific way where there's a hardcover and then pages in the middle, and then this little latch to hold it together. We just think about it as a basic book, but there's elements behind it that allow you to forget about the design and just use the product itself as just a notebook.
Interesting. So the
design. Yeah. There's a lot to it, and everything around you is designed. Everything has a design process. This pen itself had a design process where design and engineers came together and did everything perfectly, or designed everything perfectly so that when it fits, with that perfect click as well. And that's another aspect of design, which is design feedback in general.
Sense
people like to do this.
Getting multiple sensory pieces of information, right? So you we always say like a clean gym. You want to be able to walk in and it smells good. It looks clean. It has, good music. It has a good feel from like a color and, clutterness vibration. If there's not a lot of clutter, everything's off the floor, you're getting a good vibration when you walk in, and that leaves you with a good taste in your mouth.
Exactly. And that's the biggest things of design right now. It's experience design, because now design has gotten to a point where it's kind of stagnant. It's pretty much the same. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there are new trends coming up here and there. But experience design, what that allows businesses to do is create an experience, an environment, like you said, in your case for the gym, but in other cases, like big concerts and stuff like this, where those concerts are also designed. It's different types of design, yes, but it still follows the same design process. But when you go to these events, you experience something much greater because of the sound, the experience of people. There's so much more to that. And then same thing with, think about when you go to the Apple store. I'm using Apple a lot because they've done it to a T. I've actually worked with Apple as well, worked for Apple. So I've seen how they do it. Everything in their store is designed to a T. The way the tables are lined up, where everything is, to the millimeter. Everything is designed perfectly. But when you walk into an Apple store, you literally feel different because it's the way it's lit, the way everything is placed. That's the design behind everything, but we don't think about it like that.
It becomes subconscious to us. Yeah.
Exactly. But that's how good design is because then it just fades and you're just there with the experience itself of the product, whatever it is.
So that's what I loved about when you came up with this. It was that we wanted to keep it super simplistic, and like you had veered me down that road. I think I had come to you with something a little more like hectic.
Right.
We're like, why don't we streamline it a little bit?
And that's the biggest thing. A lot of people want to do something crazy, and don't get me wrong, the type of business you're in, if it makes sense to do something more elegant and something more strategic, and there's much more elements to it, then all for it. Especially for like what I'm thinking right now is just restaurants in general. If it's a high-end, high-classy restaurant, you want a logo that replicates that. And it's nice, elegant forms. That's okay. But when you're doing stuff like this, you also want to keep it, for example, what we're doing, want to keep it simple because of recognition. For example, let's go back to Apple. It's literally just a logo of an apple with a semicircle cut.
Yeah.
And once you see it, though, that's all you have to put. You don't even have to have the name Apple there itself, just the logo itself. And that's how great this logo is. And that works for everything else. If it's a simple logo, easy to remember, and that's the biggest thing, because think about it, you're also competing against all these other companies with their logos.
It's got to
want to stand out as well.
Yeah.
So for yours, for example, the limitless theory, we've gone back and forth with a lot of things, a lot of iterations, and then we ended up with the heartbeat line for connecting the L and the T, and that just allows us, like for you, I've never seen anything like it in my case, and it was just I thought it was pretty cool. So like doing that, like you won't see anything like this somewhere else. So like you have to differentiate yourself within all these other companies competing for attention from these people.
So true. And that in and of itself makes marketing, once you get into that, so much easier.
Exactly.
And the goal behind it is that essentially, once again, someone almost feels something when they look at it.
Exactly.
Right? They don't even, they see it and it gives them a feeling of an experience.
They know what to expect from you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So for me, in terms of, nutrition and fitness and working with, building on my own economy with a awesome group of people, and there's certain things that every time someone looks at that, that's what they think of, that's what they feel, that's what they automatically start to coordinate things with, and with that, it's about how many, it's like you mentioned before, repetition. The amount of times people are going to see that is going to subconsciously just ingrain that into their skull, ingrain it. And that's why people are like, dude, you have everything limitless theory, like everything. I'm like, yep. You walk into my bathroom, my shower curtain, my living room, blankets, pillows, you have freaking banners in my room, t-shirts everywhere. It's on the back of my t-shirt, like literally everything. It's on my shorts.
And because we're single business owners as well, we have to do that because it's just us. So for example, I have my t-shirt as well. I probably should wear it, but yeah, no, it allows me to, when I go out, sometimes I wear it too, just because if I know I'm going to be in a place where there's a lot of people, I mean, not now, obviously, but when I did, for example, I ran a race a couple of weeks ago, and it was just a 5K, but it allowed me to wear the shirt, but then also I knew there was going to be a lot of people there, so I was able to, promote the brand as well.
Yeah.
So that's just us, our mindset, because we need to market, but we also need to, do the logistics behind everything as well. So
it's the same way, like, celebrities, their face is plastered everywhere, right? And every time you see it, you think of a movie,
it's everywhere.
you think of a scenario, or you think of a news headline, or It's the same concept. It's just different scales and everything's relative.
Yep. I mean, a good one to think about, I mean, currently is just Donald Trump. The way he was able to win the election was in
16.
Yeah. The way he was able to win was because even though he was getting bad publicity, it was still publicity. So he was able to use that towards his advantage. And everyone was talking about him. Everyone. He was on the headlines for everything. And in turn, more people knew about him, knew about what he was doing, what he wanted to do. And in a way, that's not the end-all be-all that made him win, but it did have a big impact on why he won.
That quantity over quality rule has its exceptions, right?
Right.
And
it'd be good, but then again, it could have failed for him too.
Oh, without a doubt.
He's an interesting character in the way it happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, think about businesses who have done or promoted a product and it just flopped, it failed.
Yeah.
Because
for no specific reason. It might have been a great product and could have changed the world, and we don't know, but it just didn't work out.
Exactly. It's the way you promote a product too. But in Donald Trump's case, I don't know how he won, but in general, it was just, a lot of people. I mean, I remember a time when everyone was joking about it, and then it became serious, and then it became a little more serious, and then he was the Republican nomination, and we were like, oh shit.
And then now 4 years later, and we're like, okay, and it's probably going to happen again.
Right.
So it's crazy.
But it works. That's what I'm saying. Design works in multiple aspects. Everything you can think of, design is there. It's a way, in a weird way too, it manipulates people because in the marketing aspect, you're kind of telling people to buy a product or use a product to do this because it will be better for you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Obviously, some things do have good value to it. If you need, for example, for you investing in a new logo and creating something, that allows you in turn to then create something more from that, and it keeps pushing that. Design, and if you buy things and these things that are marketed, if it ends at one thing, it's never too good because you always want to keep it going. So how can you build something, especially for us business owners? You want to buy something, it has to then bring you to the next level so that you can go to the next level and keep going after that.
And that's, there's a psychology behind the design, there's behind marketing, behind selling, behind everything. It's all psychological. And it's the more you dive into that world, you understand that you have to realize the binary understanding of how the human brain works. And that is simply what you're trying to do is attack the nervous system. And I tell people all the time, so I'm not training your muscles today, I'm training your nervous system.
And that's what I said, going back to the beginning, it's all about the people. Understand the people, you understand the design behind them, what they need, what they want, what their wants are.
To drive them.
What their drive is, etc. And then if you meet that need, whatever that need, that want is, that's when you have a good product.
True. It's crazy, man.
So it's just figuring out what people need, what problems are. Overall, it's solving problems. You're solving problems for people. And that's the biggest thing. That's what any company starts from. If you solve a problem for people and it meets their needs and their wants, then you have a good selling product. But if you can take one thing away from this, it's all about the details. That's the biggest thing. It's about the people and the little details.
I like to say, especially with small business owners and just in general, we need to create deeper relationships because that allows us to understand the minute details because it's not superficial at that point. It becomes real. That's why having these conversations is so beneficial for people because it's not the basic, go back and forth for 3 minutes and all right, I hope you learned something.
Right, yeah.
The ability to break down thoughts and ideas over time and continue to get deeper and deeper in the same way that's what emulated the thought of limitless theory is the fact that we can continuously improve 1%. We can continuously build new neurons in our brain. We can continuously get more efficient at the tasks that we do every day. It blows my mind that people who have driven for 40 years on a freaking road in a car can no longer back up into a spot any better than they could on the first day that they got a car. You've been doing it for 40 years and you never thought, if I just get a little bit better today, then I'll be better in a year at being able to do it. Like, those little concepts and nuances blow my mind, because nobody wants to just add that little extra percent of effort to get something out of it over time. But if we do that, if we continue to push like me and you are, we push for more, right? Then the underlying limits that we will reach as a human race will continue to elevate. They'll continue to vanish. If
Yeah, I agree.
it's, oh man.
I think my greatest weakness right now is that I want to do that every single day, or let me repeat that. So I think my greatest weakness right now is that I want to do the, how do I say this? Okay, so my greatest weakness right now is that I want to do that pretty much constantly every single day, in the sense of like overdo it in a way, because I want to keep doing more. And that's kind of where the name for my company came. But like, because I'm always on top of that, it's a good and bad, because then every day I know I'm getting a little bit better every single day, but I have to understand that it's not going to happen all in one day.
Yes.
So that's my biggest weakness right now. So I definitely need to slow it down a little bit more, but in a weird way, I've done that my entire life. So it allowed me to get to the point where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to find a balance. Yes, there's always a balance, but definitely if you can push yourself 1% every single day to be better than you were yesterday, at the end of the year, you'll be in a much better place.
Oh, 300.
The biggest thing too, going back to what you're saying too, it's like, yes, a lot of people don't understand the power of networking. Literally just going out, meeting with someone, even if it's your friend, you never know what they can do, what they're capable of. Yeah. But we have to start having these conversations again of just literally talking. Hey, what's up? What are you up to? Like, what are you doing? Deeper conversations. You know, like how can we connect? How can we do something together?
How can I help you?
How can you help me? Exactly. And not always look for something on the receiving end, because you never know what can happen in the future too. Because even, you know, that's what networks are for. Like, we can help each other out. In the future, though, something can come out of this as well. Yeah. For example, I'm currently in the talks with a couple of friends from up in Boston. And we connected back in the day when I was up in Boston for school. And, you know, we were always just close. We never did any work together, but we just talked. And, you know, they were into photography. I was also into photography, but I'm more focused on the design stuff. But now we were just talking last week, and we're trying to come up with a plan where we can create a, not a company, but so where we can create a partnership in general, where we can provide design work and photography work together in a package so that we can give it to customers. And that was just from a simple conversation that we had when we first met. And then it literally just kept building throughout the years. We stayed in touch, and now it's becoming something. And that's why I like to stay in touch with people. I'm always on Instagram, mostly to share what I'm doing, what I'm up to, so then other people can see what that is. And then in the future, they'll have an idea of what I'm capable of, what I can do, and then we can potentially connect with it.
Without a doubt, dude. The power of planting a seed and continuing to water it, right?
Exactly. And it's sometimes nothing might come of it on your end. Sometimes it's on the receipt or on their end, on the giving end. I'm sure I've helped a ton of people too, but I never received anything, and I'm okay with that, because then I helped them plant a seed, and they were able to create something out of that as well.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm in the growth mindset within myself, and then those around me as well, because I want to help others to get to the point where they want to be as well.
Continue to grow.
And that's what my company is all about. I'm just giving them a platform to start that. And then if they want to continue it, keep going, where, you know, we create the designs for them, and we can continue doing that throughout the lifetime of their business.
Yeah. And you got me, man.
Yeah.
Locked and loaded.
No, great, because then we got, you know, and then this, you know, let's say we find you have another friend who needs design work or whatever, and then I have friends who are looking for mindfulness and, you know, being better in finances and the mindset and everything like food. that's important. And then I can refer you to them as well.
Yeah, the power of a conversation is unreal. And dude, 3 minutes of like just actually conversing with somebody allows for the spread of so many ideas. And
so many. It's amazing. When you get into that mode, when you're talking to someone and it's just, you're just coming up with ideas. Some of them are stupid, yes, but what happens to your mind is beautiful. That to a T. And that's where these ideas come from. And some ideas that's where you plant a seed and then they keep growing. But yes, when you're in that creative mindset and you're with your friends and you're just coming up with ideas and you're just throwing things out there, seeing what sticks on the wall, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, it's such a feel good. There's so much dopamine and serotonin release, dude. Like you get into this this perspective that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't do things, when you don't share them, when you don't voice them, it becomes so much less of a reality, because you have close to 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Think about how many of those you're actually voicing out. The other 58,000 are just gone with the wind, dude. They're out. If you don't write them down and voice them out within a 72-hour period, they're usually never going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So the power of that is just like, and whenever I'm, doing, it could be anything, dude, whether I'm on the toilet or I'm driving or I'm like mid working with a client. If I have one of those, like, wow, that's a good idea, I have to get it out.
Write it down.
Either I just say it, I like blurt it out to someone,
right,
or I write it down and I revisit it as soon as I possibly can, because that's, a lot of the stuff I've come up with for the logo in and of itself. When I was in college, it was like, boom, I remember sitting in class one day and it hit me and I was like, oh, I just started doodling, like, got to write it down. Doesn't matter what's going on around me. I don't care what the hell the professor's saying right now. I got to get this out. And, those things play out over time, because it's an understanding that each and every day you're going to have new thoughts.
Ideas are just ideas until you make something out of them.
Yeah.
So
completely agree, man.
Definitely writing them down is at least that's how I organize my ideas, because just like you and, I just have so many ideas that sometimes, I carry this notebook with me all the time in general, because I always have ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And usually they're good ideas. Sometimes they're also bad ideas, yeah. But you never know what they can become in general, and how they can connect with my company in general and what I'm doing.
Or someone else's.
Someone else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you, if you write it down and a week and a half later, you're having a conversation with someone and something of the same essence comes up, and all of a sudden you're like, oh dude, I was thinking about that last week randomly. But the only reason that it came back into your head was because you took the time to ingrain it in your head. You wrote it down again, and then you saw it again.
Right.
So that's 3 times through your head, as opposed to one in and out, when it pops in and it pops out.
And then the other aspect is, you have to do something with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Usually sharing that is always the best. Some people like to keep to themselves. It's never going to work out, because you always need help with anything, with creating a company, stuff like that. Like I said, yes, technically speaking, I started this whole company on my own, but it was through my experiences that I've learned from other people that got me to this point. Yep. So you never truly do anything on your own, because it's built you up in a way. Your experiences have built you up to a point where you are able to do this now.
Yep.
Totally agree. And the other aspect of this, so I am starting a YouTube account as well with More Creative.
Nice.
And what this YouTube account is going to focus on is the creative process itself. Okay. Because most people have a creative process, and it's different for every single person. Mm-hmm. So for me and you, it's completely different than someone else as well. So what this YouTube account is going to allow us to do is basically connect with other people and see what they do and how they get their ideas out, how they execute on things. And it's more of like behind the scenes. yeah, but the creative process, like we're talking about, is something beautiful. And once you get in that point where you're just, pushing out ideas and seeing what sticks, I love that.
Yeah, it's such a feel good, man. It's the same way when you just start you start checking things off the list, dude. You got a to-do list on a Saturday or Sunday and you just start banging them out.
It's so good.
Oh,
Yep.
it feels so great. I could do this all day. But
Mm-hmm.
that's, an object in motion stays in motion.
That's
So
good.
the moment that you start to, give yourself the, I'll do it in a couple hours thing, or like, I'll do it tomorrow. Next week's a good day to start. Like those things, they snowball very, very quickly. And I was listening to a podcast last week, and it was about the understanding that when you voice something out that is negative, it's 7 times stronger than when you voice something out that's positive. So for every one negative thing, you have to say a positive thing 7 times to even field, to make that even keeled.
Yeah.
That's profound. So the understanding and the comprehension of that is that it's not that we always have to speak positive things.
No.
Right? We don't always have to be super go-lucky, happy-go-lucky, all positive all the time, because we've been preaching that for 50 plus years, and it's not taking off. There's still a crap load of negativity. The understanding is that if you can stop people from saying negative things, they don't necessarily have to be positive. They just have to not say negative things. Their life is going to change profoundly. And it's the understanding that we come from a binary conscious mind, right? Everything is black or white, but reality happens on the gray scale. So if you just don't live on this end of the spectrum, you're going to live somewhere in that gray scale and somewhere in that opposite end. And that's like the same way I teach with nutrition. People are like, oh, I'm on that diet again, or I'm off. I fell off this weekend pretty hard. It's like, no, you weren't on or off. You were just making decisions each and every time you decided to eat. And if we can just make each decision to the best of our ability with what we have, then we're going to improve. And that's all we can do. And
I agree. I think, I agree with what you're saying. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people make excuses, but I do understand that a lot of people have also had different experiences and stuff. I have too. We all have. But those who have made excuses and don't do anything after is just like, that's on you.
Yeah.
Because I've been through that situation too, and I've created what I have because of all those ups and downs. Life is up and down. Life isn't just gonna be up.
Literally. Your heartbeat tells you everything. It's down, left, right. You have no idea.
So it's how you roll with those punches and how you keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So
completely agree, man. So now on a day-to-day basis, you talk about what so many people are dealing with is that like anxiety and that depression of like negativity, and it's just circulating their life and it doesn't seem to stop. And a lot of that is the ups and downs of everyday life. How is it that you prioritize your health from a mental standpoint? Because as a business owner and wearing multiple hats, it's not toll free like a 1-800 line, bro. You get a lot of stress thrown at you every day, and it's new things. You don't know what's coming next. Everything we do is unprecedented. So when it comes to your strategy of you're coming up with creative strategies, what's your strategy for making sure that mentally you're on a good level every day? And like, what's your checklist? Do you have things you wake up? Do you have a certain amount of time that you allocate to design versus customer support versus, social media marketing? How do you break that stuff down?
Yeah. So first off, I take care of myself before I can do anything for the business overall. So physically, I just always, in the mornings, I get up for the gym, and I'm usually there for an hour, 2 hours between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. And that's just that to start off my day. That just gets me going. I need to physically stay fit. going for long runs. Actually, this morning I went for a run before we started, and it just gets me, when I run especially, most people don't like running, and I can completely understand that. But for me, when I'm running, in a weird way, it's meditating for me because I get lost in my head. And one thing that people get wrong with meditating is that you have to have like a complete blank mindset and you're just sitting on the floor and you're just like not doing anything. It's the quite opposite. You're legit thinking about everything.
Yeah.
Literally everything.
You're
So
more in touch with your thoughts when you meditate than ever before because you have no sort of, real input from anything else. You're just in your head.
So in a weird way, when I'm running, my body's physically doing something, and it's pretty much it's standard. It's just like I'm just running, and I find my pace, and I just cruise along. But in my mind, I'm literally having all these thoughts. I'm just playing through things and understanding. So that's how mentally and physically I just kind of find a balance between those. And usually after my runs, I'm pretty much like reset and then ready to start my day. Same thing with going to the gym in general. I'm just in the zone and I'm just going through. But that allows me to mentally and physically, I've combined those to just kind of reset, be ready. My body's ready to take on the day. And then with the business aspect, pretty much with my entire life, I've gotten much better at organizing. That's my secret.
You have to.
So I've taken everything in my life and I broke it down into categories. Within those categories, I'm then able to break down my days. So then I'm focusing on this in the morning, midday, and then evenings. And what that allows me to do, especially on the weekends, since I'm not as busy on the weekends, I'm able to do a little bit more just because I break down those days. The biggest thing though is you need to give yourself time just for nothing. Like you just don't have anything planned. You can just kind of sit with yourself as well and just think. Because the biggest thing is we live in a world where everything's go, 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 that you also need time to then process everything that's going on throughout your day. Because if you just move from one thing to the next, you never fully process what's going on. So you always lose or you can forget things very, very easily.
Yeah.
So like I said, my biggest secret is just organizing in a way that allows you that works for you, because organizing for everyone is different. Mm-hmm. But what I've done is categorize everything in my life in the sense of importance to least important, and then organize that within each day as well. And then in each day, I'm able to, like we talked about earlier, tackle one thing at a time every day. And then when I look back, though, I've accomplished much more than I thought I would. Sure. If I did everything in one single day. But yeah, but it's just categorizing and understanding what works for you. Because everyone has a different set schedule, set plans, etc. So if you can organize in a way that allows you to be most efficient, most effective in general, it allows you to just be better, be on top of your things. And then another aspect within everything I've done is mostly just talking to more people as well, and like being there more often. In this sense, I've just been calling people and just staying in touch with them as well. That's something that I have been lacking within my organization, because I'm always working and doing stuff that I neglect some areas. So then I've opened up. Organizing has allowed me to then, set time aside to then contact and stay in touch with my loved ones as well. Mm-hmm. But that's the biggest secret. It's just organizing in a way that works for you, and you categorize it in a way that's most important to least important. Within each month, not just each day. Like you can then. So what I do is I do it weekly, every day, mm-hmm. but then also monthly, and then half month, and then yearly. What that allows you to do is you have an overall goal, a big picture.
Yeah.
And that's, let's say, the year. And then you have a 6-month goal. Some people, you can do it differently, month goal, 2, 3, 4 months. So I have a year, 6 months, and then every month I have a set goal as well. What that allows me to do is, exactly. So that's the main focus of the month. Gotcha. And then how can I do something every single day to then
get there,
accomplish that goal? And then same thing through the 6 months. I want to get to this point within the next 6 months, and then the entire year as well.
Little by little.
Little by little. Every day. Every day is a new day. And that gives you something to look forward to every day, because then you know what you have to do. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest things is if you're not organized with things, that's when things mess up, or unexpected things, unplanned things just
And you don't have anything to look back on and learn from because you didn't have a process.
Exactly. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just a process. You have to understand. It's like anything in general. Like everything has a process, the way it works, especially technology. There's algorithms for a process, the way it works. For us to move somewhere, to be somewhere where we want to be in the future, you need to set a process, a path for you to then follow and then get to that point. Nothing is going to be done just by saying, I'm going to do this and then not doing anything about it. There's a road ahead and you have to figure out how to get there. And that way, for me, it's just organizing in a way that I'm able to. And the thing is, sometimes those plans or the way I organize just doesn't work because something comes up and then I have to, hold off on a couple of things. But that's life. That's going to happen.
That's
happening with business.
You take one hat off and put the other one on.
Exactly. Then you have to figure out, okay, something's wrong here. I need to attend to this now. Other things can wait.
True.
So it's the way you organize. It's also like a living document because it's going to fluctuate and they're going to happen. Life is going to happen to you.
That's a good way to look at it, a living document.
Right? Yeah.
We're writing a book every day.
Exactly.
And at the end of that, year, you're going to have 365 pages. What days are going to be blank? What days are going to be full?
Exactly. And then again, like some people think they have to do something every single day. They don't. I mean, in my case, I take days off too. Like I need to mentally, physically, everything. Some days I just want to lay in bed and just, and I have my days too. Some days I'm so anxious and, there's so much going mentally. But that's the way I work on that is literally through physical exercise and meditate. That's just what worked for me though.
So like I no doubt think that doing nothing is something like the understanding of I need to just chill out right now. That self-awareness is huge. If you can write that down on, day 278, self fucking care. If you write that down, that's a day that's completed, right? Like
that's completed.
You consciously made a decision to prioritize something, whether it was prioritizing the fact that you didn't want to do a damn thing or prioritizing the fact that you had 15 to-do things on your checklist and you knocked out all 15 of them and you didn't sleep that night. If you know where you are, you know what you're capable of and you know what you need to do, then that's a day done right in my mind. But
I agree. Yeah. And yeah, a lot of people don't like not doing anything. And it's interesting because we need to sit with ourselves. We need to process what's going on in our mind. We really need to connect. We need to get back into connecting with ourselves. Like I said, meditating has done that for me, but sometimes not doing anything is good for you. Like literally, it really is. Just processing your mind, thinking about things by yourself. And then, I don't know, in the next couple of days, then you talk to someone, like, then you share what you've learned about yourself. That's always good. Like we're never, no point in time in our lives are we not learning and growing. We always are at every single moment. It's what you do with it. If you accept that and if you're aware of that.
Yes. I always say, I tell people in the gym too, when it comes to physical exercise, I like I said, I'm not training your muscles, I'm training your nervous system. Every time that you move, every time that you breathe, every time that you say something, every time that you sit down and you hold a certain posture, your body is learning how to deal with whatever it's dealing with that way. And that's what it's going to continue to do. You're paving that road more and more and more every time you do it that way. So you have to be consciously aware of that and make positive habits as subconscious as possible.
Exactly.
It's funny when hello? It was like 5 of, right?
Okay.
When you said, you were like, all right, are we ready to hop on? And I was like, yeah, I need like 10 minutes. I literally turned on meditation music and I went in my room and I meditated I put on a 7-minute meditation and I just zoomed out 7 minutes. I put a timer on. So at the end of the 7 minutes, I hopped back up. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
I needed mentally to stop for a second because I taught 2 classes this morning. So music's jumping and jumping, and like I'm, coordinating music and people working out and this, that, and the next. And I was like, all right, I came home, I got a couple things, I ate something quick. I was like, all right, before I get into like podcast mode, I just need to relax. So I made a tea and I took 7 minutes to meditate. And I thank you for allowing me to do that. Like I just had to, and I felt so much better when I came to.
I did. Yeah, no, and I agree with that. I definitely have learned within the last couple of weeks, actually, is that whenever you're going to do something, you need a little bit of time beforehand.
Yeah, like a transition.
Exactly. There is transition periods. And that's why we live nowadays, when we live in a world where go, 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 you don't have those moments of transition. And your mindset isn't the same when you're talking to a friend and then talking to a business partner or client. Yeah. You have to have that time for transition to kind of reset and then, tackle whatever is next at hand. And I definitely agree. That transition period is very crucial to a lot of things, especially for us as business owners. We need to understand that there is that transition period and allow yourself to then transition into the next part.
It may seem like, well, I can, that 7 minutes, I could have gotten a lot done, but the next hour and a half or whatever, however long we're on here for, would have suffered from a quality standpoint if I didn't take that 7 minutes. So being able to see long-term, that broad, perspective, and understand that take 2 minutes now and have a good 90 minutes as opposed to 92, half-assed minutes. It makes a big difference.
Exactly. And the quality within those minutes, do you want to live a good life or just, a great life?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a much better quality of time for you and the other person that is on the receiving.
Same way in the gym, right? Like 15 crappy reps is not going to get you the same results as 10 high quality reps.
Exactly.
Yeah. And over time, right? You think of it from a gym sense, those 15 low quality reps, I'm doing more reps. You're more likely to get an injury. How does that translate to everyday life? You're more likely to have a panic attack. You're more likely to forget it's your mom's birthday. You're more likely to forget, like, random things like that will just...
There's negative things associated with not taking the time to do something with more quality.
Time is a funny thing, man.
It's
so wild.
People want more time, but it's interesting how much people waste time.
The simple phrase of "I cannot wait." If people could get that out of their freaking vocabulary, it would save people's lives. Because when you say that, you subconsciously want everything from now until whatever you're talking about to just bypass. You don't want it to happen. You're telling yourself that. I don't care what happens. And then it gets there and you're so freaking excited for it that it goes by, and all of a sudden you have nothing else to look forward to. So it's the reason why people go on vacation and they get back and they're like, oh, I need vacation. Why? Because you drank and ate like crap for a week and you weren't, conscious of anything. You didn't take care of yourself. Right. And now all of a sudden you get back to everyday life and you cannot wait for your next vacation.
Exactly. No, and that's how it is. And I hate when people, it's just a pet peeve of mine. I don't hate it, but just because there's so much to look forward to right now. It's just the fact that we're living and being.
Yes. And
there's so much out there. Like literally once I walk outside these doors, I'm able to just, do whatever and experience life firsthand. So it's not, you don't need a vacation you're just getting away from whatever you don't like or who you are or what you're doing now. Yeah. But you have the power to completely change that. Yeah. The way you perceive life, the way you perceive where you are, what you're doing, is all on you. So and going back to, yes, you don't have to think completely positive all the time. But if you stop thinking about the negatives so much and focusing on that and just look at the better things in life in general, the good things in life, not the greatest, it's it doesn't have to be that good all the time. Your life is going to change because you're looking at just the little things in life. And the little things matter and are so important that we're so focused on not doing anything and just going on vacation and just drinking and all this, that you're not focusing on the quality of life that you're having, what type of life that you're living.
And we don't know what we have till we miss it, man.
Exactly. Right now, everyone's, I mean, yes, things that are going on right now, it's crazy. I've never thought we would be at this point, and it's something we've never seen in modern history. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's what are you back to? Where you are, where you live, your family, your friends, checking in on them. So these are the simple things in life. Let's say we didn't have an economy and all this. This is what we would be doing. So now that people are bored and home and alone in that sense, not with more people in general, it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Do they, are they more bored than ever? But I believe this is a good time for them to sit with themselves and just, take the time to just be and do.
Literally. Alone. Cook food.
Exactly. Connecting with, literally just that process. And that's another aspect of just connecting with yourself. You're connecting with the food that you're going to make, vegetables, cutting them up, putting them together, creating something. And then you're consuming that. And that itself, you're learning. That's the whole process that you create within yourself. And you're learning from that as well. And I don't know, I see more beauty in those little things than, just going on vacation, getting drunk, drinking with friends and all that.
Yeah, man. I think it's important to note that we can create that beauty, right? Because the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and the beholder has an option. They have a choice. They have decisions they make every single day on, taking a chance or an opportunity, gaining a different perspective. And all of that ties into the ability to see more detail, the more minute, important things. And I think I cooked I sat by the grill last night and I cooked, and I was in such a happy place, dude. Like I haven't done that in a while. Yeah. I was in such a happy place. Music was
this morning. I just made, so after my run. Yeah, exactly.
Just like jamming out. I'm like,
right.
Burgers. Why am I so happy?
Exactly. No. So after my run this morning, I just go in the kitchen and then I took out my vegetables. I just made eggs and toast. I made an omelet. But then I cut all the vegetables and stuff, and I, even with that, I organize it in a way where I separate it. No, I'm serious. It applies to everything in my life. I'm a little OCD. I like having things, neat and organized. But in general, just the process of cutting it and putting it together, and some flavors of the vegetables go better with others, and you just put it together. And I don't know. I think that whole process in general is there's an art within that as well.
Yes.
And having music behind that too, just play something low and just
design.
Group, but I'm alone and I'm just doing my own thing, and I'm just enjoying that moment I have with myself.
So in and of that, right, it's design. How do you design the food on the plate? How do you design the omelet? All of those things, me constructing my burger last night was it looked like this. And I was like,
right.
Oh, that was so awesome. I fried the egg and I put it perfectly over the onion, and it was dripping out. And I was like, oh, that's amazing.
That's what I'm talking about. So even design it's all about the little things. It's all the little details. And in a way, design isn't just about products and things that can work for businesses. Mm-hmm. Design itself is also an everyday thing. It's what works for us as individuals as well. So
it's crazy, man. It's unreal. And there was one other thing I was gonna say too, and I don't know if it's gonna come to me, but it had to do with actually it was the self-worth feeling that you get from that. And the self-worth of whether it's making your own food, or it's the self-worth of being disciplined enough to wake up and go to the gym before you have to rush off to work, or it's the self-worth of actually having a deep connecting conversation like this. After I do podcasts, bro, the euphoric feeling that I have for 3 hours is unreal, because it's just
about things differently. It's a different perspective. You have gone through so many experiences in life. I've also done the same. Now, when you talk to people, you bring those experiences to light within each other. And that's where we learn, and that's where we share stories, and we share our experiences. And that's what allows you to open up and then see the world around you differently. Because you're seeing it from a different perspective of someone else.
You know what I used to miss, man? I used to, all the times that we used to have fires and we would.
Yes, dude. Oh my God. Dude, I legit, because one of the questions you asked, that you're going to ask was like our story in general, shared stories.
Yeah.
The fires that we used to have at your house, and I mean, even Matt's, other people's.
We had one at your house.
Yeah, in my house, right.
We had a huge sleepover. I don't remember what day that was. We had mad people sleeping.
Oh, yeah. Oh, after prom.
Was it after prom?
Yeah, it was prom. When we were at Carissa's house.
That one, yeah. Holy.
Yeah.
Dude, like there's a lot of crazy memories that we have together, and just
I miss everyone, dude.
The parties that I used to throw at my house.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
We won't bring that one up, no.
No comment. Good times.
Yeah, dude. There's just a lot of, and just experiencing those things together, like because we were so close knit in that sense that
right.
We created a bond that like still continues to this day. Like if we hit up any one of those people, it's just like pick up where you left off. It doesn't feel like we graduated high school almost six years ago.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, as we were talking, I was kind of thinking to myself, like I feel like I'm the same person in general. Like I'm still that little kid at heart, and I'm just doing what I've always wanted to do. I've just figured out a way to do it, and that's all. I mean, yeah, I definitely do still feel like a little kid.
That's so true. And it's funny because I had a conversation with Bets. Dude, when we were talking, and she said something about like, and we can both relate to this, the amount of people that are like, yo, like, you know, good job, like glad you're owning your own business thing, compared to the amount of people that are like not willing to help you out at all or support at all is crazy. And part of it is the psychological understanding that they still view you as the kid or the chick that was in your 7th grade math class, and like they don't see how you've gained 8 years of experience in the field of design and creativeness and digitals and logos, and they don't see that process, so they don't understand the value that you can bring. And like we talked about, like at the beginning, we had so many people that went one direction, and we had so many people that went in our direction. Those people that went in the opposite are more so the ones that really, like, you don't see them reaching out. They don't want to be a part of it. They want to subconsciously kind of hope that you don't prove them wrong by taking the same circumstances and making something out of it, as opposed to, generationally just ending up in the same position.
I agree. I mean, you definitely have to be careful of who you keep around. Because, your closest friends that you think are your closest friends, could not want the best for you. And then someone you just meet could want the best for you. So there's a big difference on that end. Yeah, I would say it has been difficult to get more of the people that I know or known longer to kind of allow me to help them in that sense. Especially back at home. I've connected more people with in college that I've just met within the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And people I've known longer for the past 6-10 years are just
whatever it is.
Yeah. So I definitely agree that there is a disconnect in that sense. Not sure why, but in that sense of, they see you as that person that you were back then. But, that's why I wanted to get away from Rhode Island. Definitely Rhode Island is, if you don't know, Rhode Island is one of the smallest states in the United States. So there's a lot. You pretty much know everyone, and there's not much to do. So if you're stuck in there, you just stay in that world. So you need to. In my case, I needed to get out and push myself to the rest of the world in that sense.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me. It's a beautiful, amazing place, and it'll always be home. But
yes, I agree. It'll always be home.
Yeah, there's something about driving through Cranston that like nothing connects, right? Nothing compares. But the understanding that the more you travel, the more you gain, the more people that you interact with and learn from and hear stories of, the more you're going to gain perspective and knowledge and create worldwide global connections. And that's really where the point that we're getting to because of, this type of platform right here and social media. It's all global, and our ability to share information, like we talked about, is at a worldwide high. And our ability to have, once again, a binary system. We can either create or we can consume. We can either collaborate or we can compete, right? And we have to choose to create and collaborate more than
create more.
Consume.
Collaborate more. Just be more creative.
Totally agree, man. More creative. Snuck it in there. Dude, is there anything else that you want to tackle? I feel like
no, I think that's pretty good, dude.
Dude, I don't want to lose people's interest.
No, I mean, I wrote down a couple of things, but we literally everything that I
covered it all.
The growth mindset. I think we're good.
Our stories, right?
Yeah, our stories are good. Yeah, that's funny.
So I want everyone to know that, what Melvin is doing and what he's done for me personally has gone back far more than like us being business owners and both moving to Florida. It's we've been, creating memories since middle school days at Parkview. So, there's a track record of him being a good kid and just overall a good guy, understanding that he wants to help people and make this world a better place. So if you have questions about whether, it's print or web design, logos, digital design of any sort, please, if you need to ask me, if you want me to connect you, do that. I will definitely put you in touch with him. Once again, he's got me as a lifelong customer and collaborative mind because of, I think we're creating some awesome things. So, Mel, do you want to tell everybody where they can find you?
Yes. So once again, the company is More Creative LLC. You can find me on Instagram at More Creative LLC and on Facebook as well. And our website is morecreativedesign.com.
Ooh, okay. Got the website up and everything. And coming to YouTube soon, right?
And it's coming to YouTube soon as well as More Creative. And that's more of the behind the scenes of creative processes for multiple people in general.
Cool. All right. Here's my last question. Top 3 places in the world that you want to live. Go.
Denver, Colorado. Italy. Gaeta, Italy.
Right now you want to live there, or?
Yeah, maybe not right now, but it was on top of the list. And Australia in general.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Like, all right. That's actually really cool. I like that.
How about you?
So for me, I am a big Southeast Asia Pacific guy. Japan is always their culture is always spoken to me a lot. South America, more so the Pacific coast of South America, Peru and Bolivia and Chile. And I would say, from what I've heard, it's a beautiful place, but the people are extra rude, but it's weird. France. I don't know why they would be extra rude. Doesn't seem like something that would come from there.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect that.
I'm French, and I enjoy the Mediterranean lifestyle, so minus the cigarettes.
Yeah, I think yeah, seriously. But for me, Diet Italy in general would be somewhere where I learned about it from my girlfriend, but yeah, I'm looking there would be much simpler lifestyle where it's just like relax. Like it's not like the United States.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, it's more about the family, and then just like you're not focused on everything, you're just on the go all the time. It's just a more relaxed lifestyle.
Cool. And your number one place is Denver, Colorado. Everyone who's in Denver, if you're watching, who knows? I don't know. Or listen.
Might be out there.
He's on his way. So as we speak, he's making his move. He's planning. So planning and plotting and organizing, and it'll happen soon as a result. But dude, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Without a doubt, I think we could talk for another 2 hours.
I know.
We have plenty to talk about, and I'm sure as you move and as we continue to grow ourselves as business owners and people, and as this world continues to change, we'll have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Everybody have a great Sunday. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace out. My goal with this LT360 podcast is not only to bring you the best guests, stories, and lessons, but also the best products and services that span all markets and industries that will allow you to create a limitless lifestyle day in and day out. So listen in for these amazing deals. What's up, Limitless Theory Tribe? Hope you enjoyed the episode. I wanted to take a second to shout out a childhood neighbor of mine, Victor Rosa. He just started a new podcast. Would love for you guys to go support. It's called Real Recognize Real. Just two dudes who love movies, all right? They are going to watch all the movies they can so they can give you quick and insightful reviews on them. These guys have education backing these reviews. They're not just throwing out random opinions. Once again, they're going to see the movies so that you don't have to. So go check them out. Real Recognize Real. Peace. Did I tell you guys about my new water filtration system? It's sitting right on my kitchen counter, and it took me less than 5 minutes to install. It's super, super easy, and it's very beneficial, saving me a lot of time and money. It's called Pure H2O. Pure H2O filters out the chlorine taste and bad odors, greatly improving the quality and the clarity of your tap water with literally the flip of a switch. It can take out 97% of the chlorine found in typical tap water and 77 other contaminants. And I said it's saving me time and money. Filtered water is environmentally responsible because you're choosing not to buy plastic water bottles. And those prepackaged water bottles, as we are learning, are far less healthy than we think. There's a lot of contaminants in those things. They're being mass produced, and those companies are caring more about the money and less about the quality. All right. So Pure H2O cares a little bit more. They're not looking for mass production. They're looking for high quality. And it's your water, and we understand that water is the foundation of the body. There's a strong connection between the quality of our water and a long, healthy life, right? Our bodies are 72% water, and that requires us to refill and fulfill that on a daily basis with pure, clean water for optimal health. So take the first step towards better health with Pure H2O. You can get an over-the-counter water filtration system or under-the-counter installation kit. Either way, it's a great option for you and your family to take the next step towards health. So go over to shop.com/limitlesstheory and use code 10OFFMA for 10% off your purchase of a Pure H2O water filtration system. Alrighty guys, until then, drink pure. If you're anything like me, you've learned that when you connect great people and great food, the opportunities are absolutely limitless. Well, we aren't the only ones. Rastelli's Meat Market, a nationally and internationally recognized company as an industry leader in food safety and food quality, is bringing you all of your animal proteins straight to your door. With more than 40 years of experience, they have been seeking out farming and fishing families that span generations, with a deep-rooted passion for their craft and a proven history of caring for their animals and the environment that they grow up in. They're delivering all of your animal proteins straight to your door in a vacuum-sealed packaging that can stay frozen for up to a year. I mean, the opportunities here with this are limitless. They have everything from antibiotic-free steaks and burgers, chicken and pork, to filet mignon, lobster, wild-caught shrimp, antibiotic-free ribeyes and salmon and tuna. You name it, they have it. They also have frozen meals. And the best part, people, is you can earn up to 27.5% IBV commissions for buying your dinner for you and your family on a monthly basis, okay? If you are on auto ship with Rastelli's on a monthly basis, you can earn 27.5% commissions on anything you may order. If you want to just do a one-time purchase, you can earn 22%. What an amazing deal. What a time to be alive. You can get paid for the very food that is on your plate, and you can do so with peace of mind because you know it is very, very high quality. Rastelli's Meat Market does not lack on quality at all. One of the newest partners with Shop.com. So make sure to go to shop.com/Limitless Theory and search Rastelli's, Rastellis, and earn 27.5% or 22% on your next dinner meal. All right? Check it out. I know you won't be disappointed. What's up, LT Tribe? DFOS here, just to express my gratitude and say thank you for tuning in and continuously commenting, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the episodes and the content that we are bringing you. It is helping so much. Once again, I want to say thank you and hope you have a great rest of your day.